Hello everyone, what's up? Welcome back to another video on the channel. And on this video, we are going to talk about what are the different projects and ideas for projects that you can make, especially for the technical resume. If you have a coding profile and if you want to know different projects or areas that you can work on, then this video will definitely help you. Also, projects are a very important part for when you're applying for interviews or for one specific job. Then as part of your resume, you can showcase your skills through a project that you've implemented. It can be a small scale, large scale project incorporating different technological domains, which is definitely going to help you display or portray your skills to the interviewer. Also, you can apply for freelancing work if you have good skill sets and projects listed on your portfolio. You can have them uploaded on GitHub on your profile. So there are a lot of reasons for why you should be making good projects based on different technologies that you've learned. And also, it's very advantageous to be able to have a good profile that you can immediately showcase to your interviewer or to any person for any freelancing gig or application, because you have this working skill set, working knowledge in that skill set. So without wasting much time, let's directly move on to the different areas and different domains of projects that you can start with if you are a beginner, or if you have some experience, then also I'll be talking about some advanced projects that you can make and different ideas that you can take up for your specific skill and language. So before we start with the actual list, I'm just going to have a small disclaimer first, that in this video, I'm going to talk about the different domains or areas that you can make a project for. For example, a different specific domain of computer science in which you can make multiple projects, and you might use different technologies, tools also. So I'm going to discuss about that as well for every specific domain. But be mindful that in this video, I'm not going to talk about very specific project, like exactly what project you should make. I'm just going to make you understand the brief possibilities and give you ideas on every specific domain that you can think of. So the choice of the domain, the area that you have learned something, some language in, is going to be completely your choice. But on every single area, I'm going to give you a lot of ideas for different projects that you can take up. Okay, so the very first category of project idea that you can have is about designing. So UI UX designing, if you're into that, even like front end basic designing, if you are into designing area, then this is going to be a wide array of implementations that you can have for your projects. For example, for front end designing, if you are into web development, then you can use JavaScript for animations. Your basic HTML CSS is definitely there. Then you can also use some latest frameworks like Angular and React to touch up on the front end aspect of your website. And also you can have if you're into how something looks while someone is using them. For example, there is something known as user experience, which is what content should be placed where on the screen so as the user finds a seamless experience navigating through that app. So if you're interested in all these areas about how to make the user experience better, then you can have something like wireframes and mockups for your Android applications as well. You can use Photoshop for all your mockups for different screen sizes. For example, if how your app is going to look like when it's displayed on, let's say, a wide inch TV, or then a laptop monitor, or a desktop, or then a mobile tablet, all of that you can keep in mind. Other than that, for Android applications also, if you are into developing Android applications, then the front end of that application is going to be a very heavy, a very major portion. So for that, you can use Java, Kotlin, whichever language you're comfortable with for developing your Android application. Not incorporating a lot of server-side databases here, just basic concentrate on the front end UI of the application. So this designing area is one of the areas that you can think of in order to make actual professional designs and projects. So then the next category of projects that you can take up is your complete full stack application. So here you will have to take care of everything, like from the scratch, the front end portion, how your application is going to look like, then from the back end, how it's going to interact with API calls, even like the databases, where the data is going to be stored on the server side, how the database is actually going to interact with your front end as well as back end portion. So your full stacked application can be either like a web application or on a mobile platform, Android, iOS, anything that you want. But this is going to help you learn exactly how an application is built right from the scratch to a completely usable format. Another scope or advantage of learning using this project is that you can also try to make your app work both with a web application portal as well as your mobile devices. So you can learn how to interact your database, same database, with your web application as well as your mobile native Android or iOS, whatever application you're using it for. So there's a lot of scope for learning new technologies, new things, interactions, and your application can solve any purpose at all. There is no limit at all. You can have something like for a banking reservation system, hospitality services, to your school management, college management, then something like an e-commerce website where you sell your own products, to a video streaming platform, to social networking site, to something where you discuss about movie reviews or restaurant reviews. Anything that you can think of which has usability potential, you can create using your full stack web application. And I would personally suggest going for something where you integrate back-end, front-end servers between different platforms as well. So web application and mobile application. So you'll also get to learn about different API calls that you need to interact with. There are certain public API calls made publicly available, which you can avail, but I'm not sure if it's authorized to actually include them in your project unless you're working for some organization. So you will also probably have to learn about making API calls, creating an API call, about Postman, how the services software works for interacting, how you get a token to make an API call. There's just a lot of scope to learn in a full stack application. And later, when you're done creating the application, you can also potentially host it on a server. So you can, if you are aware of technologies like AWS, Google Cloud Platform, GCP, or Azure, you can use their cloud services to host it on. Otherwise, you can host it on something as simple as Heroku servers. So it's not going to be in your local machine only, which is going to give you an advantage of actually being able to show this application, this project, to someone else. Like if you are in an interview, you can actually open it up and show the entire application working there and then itself. So this is definitely going to give you an edge or an advantage in your project implementation. So keep in mind that this particular area or domain is going to take a lot of time, and it's going to be tough to create this specific project. It's probably going to stretch for a few weeks or even months, but this is going to make you learn a lot of new technologies and skills. So it's going to actually help you understand how an application is built. Even like for a startup, they have to build an app. So from the scratch to the position where you can actually use it completely, fully functional. And then you can also probably learn a lot about system design and how to scale it up, horizontal, vertical scaling, caching, all of that, so that you can distribute it to a larger group of audience. So this is probably the one area or domain where you have the most potential to learn new skills and technologies. So the next category or group of projects that you can make is about machine learning models and data science classifiers. This is again a very famous and a very broad category which you can use to create almost everything. The limit is just endless. For example, you can use either like any form of machine learning, supervised, unsupervised, or reinforcement learning, and you can use it to create a specific, solve a specific problem. And there are so many well-made projects already available. You can probably take inspiration from them. Example, just to name a few, you can sort of create something like a classifier which can identify different types of fruits, vegetables, different colors, different shapes. Then you can make something, of course, like your search engines, recommendation systems, all of that, chatbot systems, how to make an automated reply, how to interact with an actual human being from a chatbot application. Then you may also in the future incorporate different areas like natural language processing, computer vision, if you have learned about those skills. So using these, you can even make artificial assistant bots like all your Siri, Cortana, Bixby, Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa. All of these are built using these technologies. And similarly, like everything that involves a camera to identify something, for example, face detection systems, or for medical classifications to identify a certain stem cell, surgery required, replacement. A lot of these have medicinal use cases as well. Even you can make something as simple as a predictor or a reviewer for your movie or song, something like that. There's just a lot of scope for projects. So try experimenting as much as possible. There are all of these sort of are somehow built on Python. They have libraries like Matplotlib, then Keras, then NumPy, Pandas, OpenCV, Matplotlib. So these libraries really help in automating a lot of things and making things easier for you. They have pre-written snippets of code that are required to solve some specific function. So definitely make use of these to build a lot of these projects that can have real life use cases and applications as well. So these few libraries that I mentioned, especially Matplotlib, NumPy's, OpenCV, they also help you to deal a lot with data sets. So if you have data sets, you can take up data sets from Kaggle. It's an open repository that is publicly available for data sets, and you can use them to create some sort of a visualizing graph or bar chart or scatter plot, line graph, any visualization format for how that data is represented along with time, like different axis, x plot, y plot, on the basis of which that data is being represented. So for example, currently, like in the current pandemic situation, there are data sets publicly available for the number of COVID cases and the number of COVID vaccinations that have been offered in different countries, and for every country in different states as well. So you can use that publicly available data, make an API call or something to fetch that data, and you can have a report based on that analytics report, which shows you the percentage, the ratio, the bar chart for different COVID cases along with time. So for every month, every day, you can figure something out and make projects on these, which are going to be actually very essential in the coming few days. Then the next category of projects that I want to talk about is projects based on visualizers. So you have different algorithmic visualizers that you can actually create from scratch. And what these visualizers do is basically they represent, literally visualize how an algorithm works. So for example, you have different, if you have completed your course for data structures and algorithms, so that is a prerequisite knowledge for this project, and you can actually use that knowledge, implementation of a specific algorithm, to attach it with some basic front-end portion to actually portray how that algorithm is functioning on some data set. So for example, if you have, let's say, a list of elements, you can create something like a binary search, ternary search visualizer. So, or even for sorting, you have different sorting mechanisms: bubble, insertion, then quick sort, merge sort, shell sort, bucket sort, heap sort. So you can use those algorithms for sorting to actually implement something that visualizes exactly how the array is being sorted, every single step of it. Then not only searching, sorting, you have like algorithms for especially recursion and backtracking algorithms. So for example, solving problems like rat in a maze and the n queen problem, Sudoku solving problem, you can visualize how the algorithm is trying for different potential answers and then not finding a solution, backtracking, trying something else. So every step is going to be represented as a front end web portal or something. Apart from this, even like pathfinding algorithms, for example, BFS, DFS on a tree, on a graph, how it's working to find the minimum, let's say, minimum spanning tree, or the shortest path, shortest unweighted path in a graph. All these use cases can be implemented as a project which you can visualize. So what this requires is knowledge about data structures algorithms. Obviously, the algorithm that you're going to implement, you need to know how it's actually written, coded. And apart from that, you need basic front-end knowledge, either let's say JavaScript, React, Angular, on which you can integrate the algorithm and represent the data set, the array or the graph, nodes, whatever. So you can even use like something like React Native or something, Kotlin, to represent this as a mobile app. You can have that app listed on Play Store that people can download, and they can, while they are preparing for data structures algorithms, they can have every algorithm visualized about how it's actually working to get a deeper understanding. So this entire category is very in demand right now. A lot of people are making projects on these, and you can definitely try considering or exploring areas regarding visualizers as well. So the next category of projects is going to be based on game development. So if you are into game development, or if you are into making like web portals or web applications using guided user interface, so not exactly a game, but a playable animation or something like that, or even like full-fledged games. So that is another great area or project that you can add to your resume or portfolio. So for game development, again, a lot of scope. For example, if you're a Python user, there is a library called Pygame. If you are a JavaScript user, there is something known as a Phaser engine or a Phaser library in JavaScript. And using Phaser, you can, it already has a lot of different functionalities that you can use as part of your game, and you can host it as a web application, live playable game. So in fact, my resume also had one of the games written on Phaser only. So this is another great project that you can explore if you want. And when you'll be working with like Pygame or Phaser on JavaScript, so most of the games, almost all of the games, are written strictly on object-oriented programming principles. So this project is also going to help you understand OOPS concepts really well, because every single character or every single instance that you interact with in a game is actually written as an object of a class, and every method that is working on that instance or on that playable character is actually a method being called by reference of that object to that class. So all the games are written based on OOPS principles only, and this is a very, very helpful use case in order to understand the practical implementations of object oriented programming in a live working project. If you've already had experience with Phaser or Pygame, and in case you want to actually make a full-fledged game, you can try exploring Unreal Engine or Unity. So these are two applications, softwares that are used to actually develop a lot of the famous games. So almost all the big famous games that you can think of, including like Assassin's Creed or Grand Theft Auto or FIFA, a lot of these have been created using these softwares. So you can try learning about those, creating actual AAA titles or games. But initially, I would suggest you to start with implementing very normal, simple, basic games using object-oriented programming. So you have games like Snake and Ladder or Mario or Tic-Tac-Toe. So all of these games are written in the same way. So try to make a few games, playable games, and then you can even upload them live on Play Store or Android or iOS App Store, and then you can have them publicly downloaded as well. So another live working implementation that you can show to someone for a game that you've created. Okay, so moving on to the next category of project that you can implement. So I would suggest something based on virtual reality and augmented reality. This is another technology that is very much in demand right now and will have even more potential and use cases in the future coming years. So for this, the basic tool that you'll require is something known as Vuforia. Vuforia is basically an engine which is built over Unity. Unity is the software that I just talked to you about, game development software. So Vuforia can actually help you do a lot of automated tasks, like for example, if there's something on your screen in a camera and it's being captured, so let's say a certain portion of that screen or in a specific area that you're talking about, that area or figure, that structure can be replaced by anything else. For example, any other figure or image layered on top of it. So use cases can be a lot of things, like a lot of these Samsung, Apple advertisements have students playing in a courtyard basketball, and then suddenly some like reptile, wild animal comes into the courtyard, disturbs the game. They have this advertisement of a dinosaur coming on your basketball court. A lot of these different fun implementations, like they have use cases. For example, if you have a room and you have a furniture that you want to try whether it fits in your given dimensions inside your room or not, you can have an application built which is going to replace that section of your room with that furniture. So this is again augmented reality taking place. Then your applications, like the ones which have your face shown, and then you can try different glasses, different frames. Lenskart, for example, works on this principle, that you can try different glasses on your own face and see how you look. Even you can have different hats put on, different clothes, masks. A lot of these are working on augmented reality. So this is another fun area that you can explore if you want. And augmented reality and virtual reality is something which is going to have a lot more scope and potential in the coming future years as well, because some of the biggest organizations, tech organizations in the world, like Facebook, their apps, Instagram, WhatsApp, Apple, Uber, and then a lot of these companies, Google in fact, will have augmented reality being incorporated as a part of their different functionalities on Instagram. And Mark Zuckerberg, for example, Sundar Pichai, they talked about it a lot, that they are strictly working on augmented reality, making it a very integral part of their applications. So the opportunities and potential for these specific skills are just going to rise like anything. So try exploring and getting your hands on already with these skills. They will definitely have a lot of opportunities coming ahead as well. And then the last category or type of projects that I want to talk about is something which is very famous nowadays, which are these clone applications or clone apps, which is basically already there is some application that is widely being used, a very famous application, and you're trying to completely clone it by yourself. So you can either clone the front end portion only, the UI UX, or you can also have server and backend integrated with it. For example, applications like clones of Instagram, clones of Facebook, IMDb, then clones of LinkedIn, WhatsApp clones for video streaming services like Netflix, YouTube. You can try to make clones of these very widely used applications. So if you are going to incorporate backend and server side as well, then you are probably going to require knowledge for system design a lot, because these applications are scaled throughout the world. So you probably cannot implement even close to that. But scaling and caching and sharding, a lot of these things can be used in this project as well. But otherwise, you can just try to make a front end portion of that clone, which is also like in React or Angular or React Native in mobile. These projects are really in demand, and this is not something that you can probably use for someone else, but this is going to help you learn a lot of skills for yourself. Yeah, so those were my ideas for top different domains of projects that you can probably make as part of your resume, or as part of your coding journey for in the future as well. And a lot of these projects, if you want more ideas, you can probably search for them online. You will find a lot of GitHub repositories where people have already implemented a lot of different versions: music applications, video applications, search engines, e-commerce websites, a lot of applications. Even my friends have put some of their projects on GitHub. So definitely don't just copy the entire thing, but take inspiration from those projects, or try to contribute to open source as well. Find a first issue, and then you can probably scale it up. You can add additional functionalities as part of some project, and all of this is going to help you learn a lot in the process. Because if you're just going to copy the entire thing for the sake of your resume, you might temporarily get your work done, but you'll probably not end up learning any new skill. So definitely search for some projects online as well, apart from these areas, if you want to explore something else. And you'll definitely find a lot of resources online for free. So definitely do make the most of everything that is available. And other than that, I hope this video helps you in some way to get a better idea of what you would want to create for your resume. And if you want any other suggestions, put them down on the comment box for any other videos as well, if I can probably help you in some other way. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one very soon.